ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. I pray at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Vishnu and the lotus feet of my Gurudev that the meanings of Vishnu Sahasranam that we have been trying to understand, may I be able to explain that in very simple language and with the bhav kept intact. Till now, we have heard and understood the meaning of verses up till 40. Now we are going to hear the meaning of verses 41 to 50. Stanza 41. Udbhavokshobhano deva Shrigarbha Parameshwaraha Karanam Karanam Karta Vikarta Gahano Guhaha Udbhavaha. Udbhava means the originator, the origin of everything, and the Lord is the material cause and the material himself, and he is the one from which the cosmos has come, and he has entered into everything, into the cosmos. He is born again and again. So Udbhava, everything that comes from him, and yet he is above this creation. Such a uh, such a Lord, he's called Udbhava. We bow down to him. Shobhno. Shobhna means the agitator. When this universe comes into existence, when the world is created, he is the one who causes the great agitation by which everything, all the elements come into existence, all the devatas come into existence, all the living beings comes into existence, and then he agitates everything, and then he creates Brahma, gives them all the material to create the world, and that Bhagwan, who is who himself becomes Purusha, the and Prakriti. Prakriti means the matter, and Purusha means the energy. So he who becomes the matter, he who becomes the energy or the creator, and he uh, who gives all these ingredients and who enters into the world, and then who beats as the heartbeat, or who is in all the atoms and makes the atom move, that person, that Bhagwan is called Vishnu, the great agitator. Devaha, the one who revels in Deva, and here it says Divyati iti Deva. Divya means to conquer. The one who conquers and shines, he is called Deva. Deva means the one who's shining all through. He is called Devaha. Then Sri Garbhaha, the one who in whose womb all the glories, all the riches, all the prosperity is there. He is called Sri Garbha. Another thing is um, Shri is his wife, Lakshmi. And from Lakshmi came Brahmaji. Garbha means the womb, the greatest womb. Garbha means womb. So he is the Sri Garbha. He is the one who has brought about Brahma, who has come from the Garbha, from the womb of Shri. So the one who contains all the glories, all the Aishwarya, all the prosperity in the universe is called Sri Garbha. And Sri Garbha, the Divine Mother, Sri Lakshmi or Sri Tripura, the one who is always with him. And they both together bring forth Brahma, and from bringing forth Brahma, they are bringing this universe. There he is called Sri Garbha. Param Ishwaraha. Param means the supreme, and Ishwara means controller. So the Param, the supreme controller, is Paramishwaraha. And Karanam Karanam. Karanam means the cause or the instrument. Karanam means the instrument, and Karanam means the cause. Karata, and the doer. For example, take an example of pot, clay pot. So somebody makes a clay pot. So the person is the doer. What is the ingredient? The ingredient is the clay. And what has he created? The pot. So the clay pot and the clay are not different, because if there is no clay, there is no clay pot. So they are the same. But the clay and the clay pot cannot do anything if there's no potter. So the potter is is using the clay and creating the pot. But here, the potter himself is made out of the five elements, and out of that clay, or which is comes from earth, the potter is made out of earth. So Bhagwan is a potter, Bhagwan is the clay, and Bhagwan is the pot. So Karata, Karanam, he is the cause, he is the Karanam, he is the instrument, and he is the doer. So Karanam, Karanam, Karta, he is the one. And at the same time, the next word is Vikarta. It appears that he is creating, but he is not creating anything. He is like a king. Okay, the king may be sleeping in his nicely in his chambers, but the whole his kingdom runs smoothly. He doesn't have to be present everywhere. The president is doing his work, but he doesn't have to go to every nook and corner of the country to do all the cleaning or whatever work he has to do. All he has to do is he has to tell his cabinet, and the cabinet will be doing the work. Similarly, Bhagwan is the supreme controller. Bhagwan is the owner of all the riches, of all the glories, of all the opulences. He doesn't have to go and work hard like us to maintain that opulence or to get that opulence. Shri Devi is with him, and his entire cabinet is with him. The rain falls because of his orders. The sun comes on the time and it is maintaining everybody. The moon is coming, maintaining everybody. The earth is giving seeds. The earth is giving plants. It's maintaining everything and everybody. Bhagwan doesn't have to descend anywhere. It seems like Bhagwan is there, but Bhagwan doesn't have to be there. Without Bhagwan's energy, nothing can be done. Yet he does not have to be present. So that is called as Vikarta. So at one time he is a doer, and at the same time he is the non-doer. So he is present in the seed, he is present in the earth, he is present in the fire, he is present in the sun, he is present in the moon, he is present in all the sentient and non-sentient beings. Yet at the same time he is away from them. He is doing all this work through himself. Without his energy, nothing is possible. At the same time, he is beyond this. So he is karta and he is vikarta, one who has created out of himself endless manifestations of incarnations. He is called Vikarta, Gahana Guhya. He is Gahana. Gahana means unknowable, very difficult to know him. And at the same time, he is Guhya. Guhya means somebody who is mysterious or secretive. Nobody can explain him because he has been covered by his illusory energy. So he is Guhya. Another meaning for Guhya is the one who lives in the cave of the heart. He is called Guhya. So we bow down to this secret doer who is present everywhere, who is doing everything, and who owns all the riches. We bow down to him. Now stanza number 42. Vyavasayo vyavasthana संस्थान स्थान दो ध्रुव पररिद्धि परम स्पष्ट तुष्ट पुष्ट सुभेक्षण he is Vyavasayo. Vyavasayo means resolute. Vyavasayo also means business. Whose his business is to create the world and to play along, and then when he's done with this play, wind up the play. So Vyavasaya, and is very resolute. In Gita, Bhagavan says to Arjuna, Vyavasatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. O Kurunandan, O Arjuna, make your make your buddhi, make your mind Vyavasatmika means resolute. If you want to achieve anything in this world, you have to have a very resolute, firm resolution. So that firm resolution, firm determination, that is him. So Vyavasaya means the one who has single pointed firm resolution. That firm resolution is Vyavasaya. Vyavasthanaha. Vyavasthana means the one who does all the Vyavastha. Vyavastha means all the arrangements. So this world is going everything by itself, it seems so. But under his orders, everything is going. Without his orders, not possible. So Vyavasthaha. Then samsthanaha. Samsthana means he is the ultimate authority. So Vyavastha is like all the, see, All the directions are guided by him, is ruled by some deities, and all deities are working under him. Similarly, all the animals that are born, some animals are born in the from egg, some animals are airborne, some things are waterborne. All this waterborne, airborne, born from egg or born like from mammals, all these different things are regulated by itself. It looks like that, but the one who is doing all this is called Vishnu, and that is why he's called Vyavasthana. He established dharmas like Grihasthashram, the householder rules for householders, the rules for sannyasis, the rules for Vanaprasthashram. He established the Brahmin, the Kshatriya, the mercantile, and the labor class. So he is the one doing all of these things. So all the arrangements as to how the world has to run smoothly is done by him. So he's called Vyavasthana. And then Sanstana is after everything is wound up, like annihilation happens, then everything is winding up. After winding, so many atmas, so many souls were created who are living like living beings and animals and different trees and everything. When annihilation happens, what happens to all these souls who die? All these trees which die, what happens to them? So all of these souls and these elements go and settle into his form, and that is why he's called as Sansthanaha, the ultimate authority or the state or the goal. Then Sthandaha. Sthandaha means one who confers the right place, the right abode. For example, take the story of Dhruva. Dhruva was a 5-year-old kid who prayed to Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu came. And he was so pleased with him. He said, Dhruva, you rule this earth for 60,000 years, and after you die, I'm going to give you a planet which will be named for you. And that Dhruva, the first star that comes, is called as pole star, but we call it as Dhruvatara. That is named after this devotee called Dhruva. So, Dhruv means the one who is stable, the one who is firm. Dhruv means the devotee Dhruv. Uh, and here it says Sthanadaha Dhruvaha, the one who gave place to Dhruva and the one who gives place to everybody else. So that is why he's called as Sthanadaha Dhruvaha. Pararidhi, the one who has supreme manifestations, that is called as Pararidhi. In Gita, he says, Chetanas Chetnanam Divyahya Vibhuteyaha. I am whatever vibhuti, whatever opulence you see, it's all mine and I'm beyond them. That is called as Pararidhi. And then Param Spashta Tushta Pushtaha. Param Spashta means he is extremely vivid, extremely clear to those whose minds have settled from all the agitations and no disturbing thoughts are coming. So for those people, he is extremely clear. So Param Spashtaha, Param Tushtaha, he is always happy in himself and his devotees are always contented seeing him. So the one who is contented within himself is called Param Tushtaha, and Param Pushtaha, the one who is ever full, he is called Param Pushtaha. And the next beautiful name is Subhekshana. Subhekshana means he has a very beautiful gaze. You look at him, and all good things will happen to you. Just by looking at him, the one who confers on you happiness, opulences, liberation, the one who removes all sinful reactions, the one who cuts off the knots of the heart, the one who removes all the sinful reactions, that Bhagwan who has such beautiful eyes, you look at him and you will get nirvana. So the one who can give you the nirvana, the liberation, is called as Subhekshanaha. Now comes another beautiful names. Aha. Ramo Viramo Virajo Margo Neyo नयो न अनः वीरा शक्तिमतां श्रेष्ठ dharmo dharma viduttamaha. A beautiful name called Rama. And this sloka especially ends up with dharma. So Ram is dharma. There is a sloka which comes in about Ram. It says, what is Ram? He says, Hanumanji says, कल्याणानां निधानं कलिमल्मथनं पावनं पावनानां पाथेयं यं मुमुक्षो सपदि परपदः प्राप्ते प्रस्थितस्य विश्रामस्थानमेकं कविवर्वचसां जीवनं सज्जनानां बीजं धर्मद्रुमस्य प्रभवतु भवतां भूतये रामनाम. Who is Ram? Ram is Kalyananam Nidhanam. He is a treasure house of all auspiciousness. Kalimal Mathanam, who removes the problems of Kali Yuga. Kalimal Mathanam, so many sinful things are happening in Kali Yuga. The one who is remover of all the sinful reactions of Kali Yuga is called Ram. Pavanam Pavananam, the one who purifies even those devotees who are purified. Meaning, in the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, lot of methods of purifications have been given. For example, they'll say go to Ganges and and purify yourself. Take a bath or take a dip in Ganges. You go to Ganges, you take a bath. So seemingly you are apparently like you are like purified, but really Ganges can only purify externally. What about your sinful mind? You come out to the world, again the sins start. You take a vessel and fill it up with like dirty water, urine, pus, blood, and then seal pack it. So that pitcher, that pot is seal packed with all this dirt inside, and you put it in the Ganges. Do you think just by putting in the Ganges and without removing all the trash inside, that pot will ever become purified? So our body is like that. We have so many holes. We go inside the Ganges, we purify, we come out, and all from all these holes, all the sinful things get in again. The worldly sins of excessive lust, excessive anger, excessive greed, jealousy, pride, ego, all these things again get back. So where did you get purified? You didn't get purified. So if you want permanent purification, it says Ramanam. Take the name of Lord Rama. And Patheyam Yam Yam Munmuksho, those who are desirous of liberation, for them also the only way is Ramnam. And the name itself is the final destination, final abode. It is the Vishramasthanamakam. There is nothing else where you have to reach. All goals will take you to Ramnam. All the intelligent people are always taking Ram Nam and describing like this. And all the good people, the wise people, have faith in Ram Nam. And this Ram Nam is the seed of Dharma. Bijam Dharma Dhrumasya. There's a tree, Dharma tree, and this Ram Nam is the seed of the Dharma tree. Let that Ram Nam manifest in our heart, shine in our heart. So this is what is here it is said. Ramo Viramo. Rama, that name, Virama means the final destination. After going there, you feel the ultimate rest and peace. Nothing more to be achieved. All doubts have gone. All karmas done. All sinful reactions washed away. Purified in and out. Ramo, Viramo. Virajo. Virajo means we are in this world and we are having this kama. Kama means desire. And if our desires are not fulfilled, we are upset, angry, frustrated. Why? Why is it happening? In Gita it says, Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava. It comes from Rajoguna. So to go beyond this Rajoguna mode of passion, that is called as Virajo. So Ram Nam can take you beyond this mode of passion. Virajaha, make you passionless. Margo, he is the path. Neo, he is the guide. Neo, Naya, Anaya, Anayaha, the one who leads, and the Anaya means nobody can lead him. He is the leader. So we are on the path. He is the guide. The one who is on the path is us. And one who is leading us through this path, spiritual path, is him. And he is beyond, nobody can lead him. He is leading everybody. Veeraha, he is the most valiant. Shakti Matam, Shreshtaha, of all the Shaktiman people, Of all the people who possess power, he is the greatest of all. Shrestha Dharmo, he is Dharma, and Dharma Viduttamaha, one who is the highest among the men of realization. He is Dharma Viduttamaha. He came as Kapila Avatar. Kapil gave us Sankhya. People talk about Dharma, Sankhya. He came as Krishna and he gave the Dharma in the form of Bhagavad Gita. He came as Rama. He gave Navadha Bhakti to Shabri. Every avatar he has come, he has given us, he has re-established Dharma again and again. That is why he is called a Dharma Viduttamaha, one who is the highest among the men of realization. And those devotees who live like this, he is inside them. So he and his devotees who know the Dharma are Dharma Viduttamaha. Or other meaning is those Uttam people. Uttam means the best knowledgeable people who know him as Dharma. Then comes stanza 44. Vaikuntah Purushah Pranah Pranadah Pranava Prituh Hiranyagarbho Shatrugno Vyapto Vayuradokshajah. He is Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is his planet. One name is that. But another name is Kuntha means suffocation. When we are living in this world, we are suffocated. But when we take his name, the suffocation goes away. So the stage where there is no suffocation is called Vikuntha. The one who gives this stage of no suffocation is called Vaikuntha. So his name takes you away from going on wrong paths and then feeling so frustrated. So he's called as Vaikuntha. Then he is the Purusha. Purusha means Purishete te Purusha. The one who lives in this body of 9 gates is called Purusha. Puri means a fort. The one who lives in Jagannath Puri as Jagannath. Jagannath means the master of the universe. The one who is Jagannath, who lives in Puri, it's him. And the one who lives in this body is him. The one who lives in this universe is him. That is called as Purushaha. Pranaha, he is the soul. Pranadaha, he is the one who can give the soul. Pranavaha, Pranava means Omkar, means the first primordial sound. That is called Pranavaha. When we talk, the sound comes. How does the sound come? When we talk, we have to hit somewhere. Like if I have to say ka, or if I have to say pa, the lips are hitting each other. When we say ta, the tongue is hitting on the top. To produce any sound, like there's no sound. Say if I just clap, I produce a sound. But by clapping, the sound didn't come. The sound is there already. It manifested when I clapped. If I didn't clap, the sound was still there. So that sound, which is always there, whether somebody is talking or not talking, sometimes we are quiet, but the sound is there in our mind. We talk. So that sound which is always there, whether we talk or we don't talk, whether we hit or we don't hit, whether we strike something or don't strike, that first sound, original sound, that is called Omkar, and that is called Pranava, and that is Bhagwan himself. And Vyaptaha, Vayuhu, he is Vyaptaha. He is all pervading. Vayu in the form of air. Adokshajaha. Adha means down, earth. Deva means sky. So the one who is from the earth to the sky, all pervading, just like the air, we bow down to this Vishnu. Now we come to stanza 45. Ritu Sudarshana Kala Parmeshti Parigraha Ugra Samvatsaro Daksho Vishramo Vishwadakshinaha. Ritu. Ritu means seasons. The Lord is the time who governs all the season. Sudarshanaha Kalaha. So this word, there are two words in this, Sudarshana and Kala. Sudarshana means the one who is beautiful. Just looking at him, you feel very happy. Darshan also means philosophy or knowledge. So one who is amazing himself to look at, and one whose knowledge is also very amazing. Both of the thing, just you look at him and you will be given liberation. And if you know his knowledge, you will get liberation. So that person easily who easily gives devotion, or who easily um, uh, gives whatever the seeker is asking, who is fulfilled by devotion, he is called Sudarshana. Very beautiful face. Just looking at him, you feel pleased. All problems gone. You're already in Vaikuntha. He's called as Sudarshana. He whose meeting is auspicious and it removes the seeker's worldly worries. He's called Sudarshanaha. And darshan means philosophy, gyan, knowledge. So whose philosophy fulfills all your desires, whether in this world or in the other world. He's called Sudarshanaha. The next name is Kalaha. Kala actually means time. Sometimes we go through good time, sometimes we go through bad time. In Gita, Bhagwan say, Kala Kaletam Aham. I'm the one, I'm the great devourer. So time, Kal, death. So here Sudarshana Kalaha. When you combine this word, it also means Sudarshan Chakraha. When Bhagwan has his disc, disc means he's showing time is ever changing. Time doesn't stop for anybody. And for the good doers, time is going to be good. For the bad doers, time is going to be bad. So I'm the same person rotating Sudarshan Chakra. So he's Sudarshan and his Chakra. He's Kalaha. I'll give you an example. A cat and a mouse. The mouse, when it sees the cat and the cat is going to attack with its canine teeth, the mouse is like scared. Oh my gosh, the cat is going to come and eat me up. And the mouse is trying to run here and there. At the same place, when the cat's kittens are there, the kittens look at the mother. And the mother cat, she'll just go with the same teeth, hold the kittens nicely, climb from one balcony to another balcony and go and keep them at a safe place. For the little mouse, the cat is like Kala, the great devourer. It's going to come and kill me. But for the kitten, the cat is like full of affection. Sudarshana, beautiful face. The same cat which is terrifying to the mouse, the same cat is beautiful to the kitten. So Sudarshanaha for the kitten, very beautiful. Kalaha for the mouse. So Bhagwan is both. Parameshti. Parameshti means the one who is centered in his own infinite glory. Parigraha, he is the greatest receiver. He receives everything, whatever people give him. In Gita, he says, I am satisfied by only four things if you give me. What? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yoma bhaktya prayakshati tadaham bhaktyam upritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If you give me four things, I am satisfied. So, parigraha, the one who is satisfied, who is the greatest receiver. And then ugraha. Ugra means terrible, terrifying. Now I gave the example of the cat and the mouse. To the mouse, the cat is terrifying. So for evildoers, for the demoniac, Bhagwan is like Narasimha. But for the devotee, oh, he's Sudarshana. The story of Dhruv and Narasimha is like Prahlad and Narasimha and Hiranyakashipu is like that. So Prahlad is 5-year-old and Narasimha comes in the lion incarnation with his nails and he's killing Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is terrified. But Prahlad is just a small kid and he is not terrified with the lion face. Instead, that same lion incarnation is licking Prahlad to show love. And with his hand, he's showing love. So Ugraha. So Bhagwan is terrible. And Samvatsaraha, he is the year, time. Dakshaha, he is the smart one. He's smart. And Vishramaha, he is the resting place of everybody. Vishwadakshinaha, he is the most skillful and the most efficient. Vistar, now we go to stanza 46. Vistara stavarasthanu pramadam bijam avyayam arto anarto mahakosho mahabhogo mahadanaha. He is Vistaraha, the extension, extended everywhere. Sthavarasthanu, he is the firm and he is motionless. So this earth, it's rotating around its own axis. And then it is rotating around the sun. But the earth seems motionless to us. Is it not? Do we feel that it is rotating? Only when somebody says, "Oh, we read it," then do we feel like it is rotating? Never. We just feel stationary. Why? Because of Bhagwan's potency. Sthavaraha, sthanu. He is the firm and he is the motionless. There is motion in everything, yet it appears motionless. So it's because of his potencies. So the firm and the motionless is called sthanu and sthavaraha. Pramanam, the proof. He is the underlying principle of all intellectual arguments, all science, method, everything. He is the ultimate knowledge. Bijam avyayam. He is the immutable seed. Artha, one who is worshipped by all. Artha and Anartha. Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu gives everything as Paramatma sitting in everybody's heart. He knows and he disposes everything, whatever the devotee is asking. So he is the Artha and Anartha, one to whom there is nothing to be fulfilled. He has nothing to gain. He is Artha as well as he is Anartha. Mahakoshaha, he is beyond all the five koshas. We have five koshas: annamay kosh, pranmay kosh, manomay kosh, vigyanmay kosh, anandmay kosh. And beyond all this kosh is Bhagwan. So he is Jagdishwaraha. Mahabhogaha, one whose nature is to enjoy. So he is Mahabhogaha. Mahadhanaha, the one who is supremely rich. He is Bhagwan. Anirvinastavishto. Now we go to stanza 47. Anirvinastavishto अभूधर्म युपो महामकः नक्षत्र नेमि नक्षत्री चमक्षामा समीहनः. He is anirvinaha. That means who has no sense of nirveda. Nirveda means disinterestedness. So one who is not disinterested in anything. You see Krishna, he is always interested in everything. At the same time, he doesn't need all this. He is satisfied in himself. He is aptakam. So anirvinaha, he is embodiment of fullness and perfection. He has nothing that he is suffering, that he has to be in the stage of, oh, I am disinterested. Sthavishtaha, who is always supremely gross. The entire cosmos is his form and he is pervading everywhere. So he is gross, Sthavishtaha. Abhuhu, the one who does not have birth, he is called Abhu. Dharma Yupaha. Yupa means there's a post given to tie animals. Okay. So when we are doing puja, we are all animals. Human beings, we are like animals. But when we do aradhana, when we do worship, we are worshipping Bhagwan, Narayan, like we are saying the Vishnu Sahasranam, we are worshipping. So when we are doing worshipping, we all that worship is tying us to Bhagwan. So Bhagwan is that permanent pole to which all the living beings or the non-living beings, everything is tied to him. And he is the dharma. For example, the sun has a dharma, the sun is tied to Bhagwan. Sun has a dharma to rise up on time and to set on time and to give us all the energy we need. The moon has a dharma. The water has a dharma. We human beings have dharma. So he is the pole, dharma yupa, to which everybody is tied through various worships. So he is called dharma yupaha. The Lord is the very post to which all dharmas or righteousness is tied, and this means he is the very essence behind all the righteousness. Then Mahamakhaha. Makha means the puja, the yajna, sacrifices. So he is the greatest sacrificer. When we sacrifice everything for him, he gives us the ultimate total liberation. So he is the one. In Gita we say, Brahmarpanam Brahmam Havir Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinaha. He is a great sacrificer, and whatever we offer to him, it is given to him in the form of Brahman. The fire is Brahman. The one who is giving the fire sacrifices, offering in the fire sacrifices is Brahman. And when we reach the goal, that is also called Brahman. So Mahamakha means to whom all the yagyas, the fire sacrifices are done, who receives everything and who is the doer himself is Mahamakha. Nakshatra Nemihi, he is the nave of the stars around, he is the nave around which all the stars are moving. He is the very axle. Nakshatri, Nakshatri means the one who is the lord of all the stars. Lord of the stars is the moon. In Gita, Bhagavan says, Nakshatranam aham sashi. I am the moon in all the nakshatras. So he's the one constellation. Nakshatra means the stars or the constellation. So who is the lord of all the stars? It's the moon. So Bhagavan says, I am the moon. And Vishnu and Krishna were born in the dynasty of moon. So he is moon. Shamaha. Shama means one who is supremely efficient and in all undertakings. Samihanaha, the one whose all desires are very auspicious. The Lord is considered well desiring. So so whatever he desires for everybody is all good. Now we come to stanza 48. Yagya ijyo mahejascha kratu satram gata satam gatihi sarvadarshi vimuktatma sarvagno jnanam uttamam. He is Yagya, the ultimate sacrifice. Ijya, the one who is to be invoked through all these yagnas. In Gita Bhagavan says, I am Japa Yagya. So among all the yagyas, I am Japa. So if you are chanting his name, you are invoking him. So that invoking him, the person who has to be invoked is called Yajya. Mahejya means the one who is to be most worshipped, one who most certainly is to be invoked in every ritual, and therefore he is called as Mahejya. Kratuhu. Kratu means the performer of sacrifices like Indra. So he is the one who is Kratuhu. Satram, the Lord who protects the good, the Lord who protects Satram, the one who protects Sat is called Satram. Satam Gatihi, the Satam means all the good people, and the final destination of all the devotees or the good people is Satam Gatihi. Sarvadarshi, Bhagwan is all knower, he is knowing everything. Vimuktatma, Bhagwan is ever liberated. And Sarvagnaha, Bhagwan is omniscient. Jnanam Uttamam. In the Shrutis say, Bhagwan is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. He is the ultimate knowledge and he is the best of all knowledge, the supreme knowledge of beyond all knowledge. He is Jnanam Uttamam. Now we come to slok number 49. Suvrata Sumukha Sukshma Sughosho Sukadasrita Manoharo Jita Krodho Veerabahur Vidaranaha. He is Suvrataha, the one who is ever performing the pure vow. Bhagwan came as Narnarayan. And he's sitting in Badrikashram even today. And he's always meditating there in Badrikashram. It is said that if you go to Badrikashram and you just for the tirtha, just for pilgrimage, 1/6 of his tapasya is given to you. So the one who is always engrossed in tapasya, he's called Suvrataha, and he is Narnarayan, one form. In Ram Avatar, he said that whoever takes refuge of me, Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhyo Dadami Etat Vratat Mama. I will give Abhaya, I will give fearlessness to everyone. That is my vow. I give it to everybody. He says, at one place in Bhagavatam, he says, Madbhayat Vatoyam Suryasthapati Madbhayat Varshati Indro Dahati Agnir Mrityuscharati Madbhayat. The sun, the moon, the wind, even death, everything is working properly because out of my fear. And those who take my refuge, they don't have to fear. Because I have taken the vow to remove fearlessness from the life of my devotee, to remove fear and to grant them fearlessness in the life of my devotees. So this is Bhagwan, Suvrataha, Sumukhaha, the one who has beautiful face, enchanting face, Sukshmaha, who is subtler than the subtlest, and Sughosha. Sughosha is his conch shell of auspicious sound. So in Mahabharata war, he plays his Sughosha to say that now all auspiciousness is going to come. Sukhadaha, the one who confers happiness. Suhrit, one of the best names, I like it. The best friends. He's the best friend of all living entities. A true friend who gives us unconditional love. Manoharaha, the one who steals the mind. Jitakrodha, who has his anger in his control. Veerabahu, who is very mighty, valiant. Vidharanaha, who is like Narsimha, who splits asunder or destroys, or like Varaha, who did the same thing to Hiranyaksha. And now we come to the end of the shlokas. Swapana, Swavasho Vyapi, Naikatma Naika Karmakrit, Vatsaro, Vatsalo Vatsi, Ratnagarbho Dhaneshwaraha, Swapanaha, the one who makes you sleep. Svavasho, everything is subjugated by him, in his control. Vyapi, he's all pervading. Naikatma, no, he's in every soul, he's many souled. Naika Karmakrit, he at one time he's doing many actions. Naika Karmakrit. Vatsaro, the abode of the Lord. Lord is living in every being as the super soul. So everything, whatever you see, is his abode. He's the all-pervading essence in which the universe exists. Vatsalo. Vatsalo means he's very kind, very affectionate, like parental affectionate. So supremely affectionate. He's called Vatsalaha. He has parental affection towards his devotees, or friendly affection also. Vatsalo, Vatsi. Vatsi means the father. So one who has infinite number of children, and Lord considers the entire living kingdom as his own children and nurses and nourishes them. So it can also be interpreted as the one who trains and protects the calves in the herd. Ratna Garbho, all the Ratna, all the jewels are in his womb. Means everything precious thing is in him. And Dhaneshwaraha, he is the Lord of wealth. Whatever wealth in the world, you see all good things, all auspiciousness, auspiciousness, all opulence, all prosperity, everything that Lakshmi gives us, he is Lakshmipati, everything is with him. So here we will end it up, and then we finished 50 shlokas today. In next video, we'll be doing the next set of shlokas. So may Lord Vishnu bless us all. And with this, we end it up here, and we'll see you in the next video. Till then, Jai Shri Krishna, Radhe Radhe.